Hello everyone. So in today's video, I am going to be sharing about the rein back. So first of all, what is it? Why do we do it? And how do we do it? And the rein back is basically, it just means reversing your horse. Okay. Rein back is used in dressage, but there's, call it whatever you want, backing your horse, reversing your horse, or the rein back. Now, why would we use this? Why is it useful? Why is it important? Why would we train that? Especially because horses in the wild, they don't naturally rein back. A horse doesn't naturally by itself in a field start reversing, especially not reversing a lot. So it's something a little bit unnatural for horses. They don't really do it in the field. They don't really do it in the wild. They might do it a step or something, but they're definitely not going to do 10 steps or, whatever it is that we're asking our horses to do. So reversing a horse or backing a horse, it's very much a people thing. This is something that we are asking our horses to do, which doesn't come naturally for them. So having said that, I want you to know, keep in mind for later when we go into actual strategies, how do you do this, that it's not normal for them. It's not natural. And it might take you a little bit of practice. It might take you a little bit of time. So why do we do the rein back then if it's not really natural to the horse and they don't really do it in the wild? Why would we do that? So some of you have already started asking me about half halting. And, again, you might be like, well, what does half halting have to do with rein back? I want to say, so the half halting is different in the sense that, obviously you're not reversing when you're half halting, but what the rein back is going to do is actually going to help you feel what it's like when your horse shifts their weight onto their haunches. And that's essentially what a half halting is. It's getting them for a fraction of a moment to just boop, shift their weight. Okay, shift their weight behind. So with the rein back, they're shifting their weight behind and taking a step or 2 steps or 5 steps. Okay, you don't need to do this for half of the arena. I don't rein back my horses for long periods of time unless you're maybe a Western rider, and that's something that they would have specifically in a reining pattern. I don't know. So there's actually no real reason to back your horse for a long period of time other than backing them out of the trailer, out of the horse trailer, or backing them so you can close the gate while you're still on them and you don't want to dismount, small situations like that. So it's definitely useful to teach your horse. It can be used for trailering and for, closing gates and things like that. And it also, as a rider, helps you to feel them shifting their weight onto their haunches, okay, so that they're sitting. It helps you to feel, if you're not familiar with half halting, it helps you to feel it in a little bit more of an obvious way. So later on, when you start working on your half halting, it just becomes a little bit second nature. And you're like, oh yeah, okay. I can feel that. I can feel them shifting their weight. So it's a good exercise for riders. It's a good exercise for your horses. And as far as your horse, as I said, it gets them to sit. It gets them to shift their weight onto those haunches. So it's sort of like developing their back muscles, developing their haunches, developing their hindquarters, and teaching them how to sit. So if you have a horse which is particularly heavy on the forehand, or they feel like they're running into the ground, or they're pulling on you, if you always feel like your arms are going to get ripped out of your arm sockets, this is something very useful for you and your horse because it's going to help them to get off of your hands, okay? Because it really has nothing to do with that. And it's just going to help them to shift their weight onto their back, onto their hind muscles, and then you send them forward again. Okay, so that's kind of the what and the why. And now let's go into the how. Now, I don't want to go too much into the how because, I have some very specific exercises that I do with my students. So I do a rein backing lesson. I actually just recorded the other day rein backing exercise, a dressage exercise for riders of all levels. And basically all you have to do to download and listen to this lesson, so you can listen to it on your phone, press play, do the entire lesson, and that way I will walk you through the process step by step. To do that, you just go and download the free trial of our guided audio riding lessons. The link is in the bio somewhere. So how do you actually do the rein back? It's very important that when you're doing the rein back, you're not leaning forward and you're not leaning too far back. Okay, if you lean forward, you're actually putting all of your weight onto the horse's front legs. And if their weight is on their front legs, on their front end, well, they can't really shift their weight to the back now, can they? Especially if, I weigh, 100 and something pounds and I'm leaning forward. They have no chance, okay? So it's very important that you're not leaning forward. It's very important that you're not leaning back. The reason that we don't lean back for this exercise is because if you lean back, you're sending the horse forward, not backwards, okay? It's unnatural for them to go backwards. Now, a lot of riders might have horses that are already reversing on them. You see this a lot of naughty ponies in lessons or something. If you have a horse which is reversing all the time and you want it to not reverse, then probably the reason it's reversing all the time is because you're hanging on the reins and you're leaning forward. Okay, if you're hanging on the reins and you're leaning forward, the horse has two options: rear or reverse. So, if you're causing your horse to do that, not on command, that might be why. So I want you for this exercise to make sure you are sitting straight, that you are not leaning forward and you are not leaning back. Very important. And then the next thing that I want you to remember for the rein back, very important, and this is going to like clash with a lot of stuff that riders think they know about riding, and that is you have to use your legs. Okay, you have to use your legs in order to get the reverse. Now, here's why. A lot of people think squeezing with your legs means go. Okay, squeezing with your legs means go or go forward. That's actually not true. Our legs and our leg contact doesn't mean go, it means move away. That's why in a leg yield, I might just use one leg and the horse will move away from that leg. Okay, if I use my right leg, the horse is going to move away to the left and do a leg yield. If I use my left leg, the horse is going to move away and go to the right. So your legs doesn't mean go, it means move away. Okay, so having that in mind, it's very important that when you go to do the rein back or the reverse or backing your horse, that you actually have your legs. Okay, you're squeezing with your legs. Now, I say squeezing with your legs, there's different levels of pressure. We always start with the softest amount of pressure. You don't have to just clamp onto their belly. Don't start kicking them, something like that. Again, with my guided riding audio lessons, I tell you exactly what to do step by step. But make sure that you have contact around their belly with your legs and that you are squeezing them slightly, lightly, in order to get that reverse. So, contrary to belief, the rein back or the reverse is not really about the backing. It's not really about the backing, and it's not achieved by pulling on their face. Okay, actually, you're not going to pull on the reins at all. You're not going to pull on the reins at all. So I'm going to say that again. You're not going to pull on the reins at all. So in order to get the rein back, okay, let's say I'm walking. My hands are moving, my seat's moving, everything is moving because I'm walking forward. I want to send that forward motion back. I want to send that forward motion backwards. That's all the rein back is. I want to send forward, back. Okay, so you're not going to be pulling on the reins because that would imply fighting with your horse and forcing them into backing up. That's not what we want. What we want to do is stop moving. Okay, if I'm walking, I'm going to stop moving. And then I'm going to still squeeze with my legs, but hold with my reins in order to tell the horse that, hey, I don't want you to go forward. I don't want you to go side to side because I have both my legs on. So the only way for you to go is back. Okay, and that's basically it. That's the essential, how you're going to do rein back. I know a lot of you are going to make it more complicated than it needs to be, but that's it. That's all you need to do. That's how we do rein back. We're sending their forward motion backwards. And we're going to do that by stopping moving, holding with the reins, and squeezing with our legs, telling them to go back. Job done. Now, the important thing I want you to do is immediately once they've stepped back, even if it's one step, even if it's two steps, whatever, I don't care. It's not about going back half a lap or something. So once they've done a step or even just shifted their weight, okay, if that's your first time doing rein back, if they've just shifted their weight, I'm happy with that. What you want to do after that is send them forward. Okay, so the rein back helps them to shift their weight onto their haunches, and then you're going to send them forward so that they spring forward. It's going to feel, I call a little rockety step. It's like a little rocket taking off, a little rocket taking launch. So they're going to spring forward, and that's that impulsion. So this exercise is going to help you and your horse. First of all, get the horse off of the forehand. It's going to help you to sit straight. It's going to help you to feel that feeling as if you're half halting, because that's going to come later, but the feeling is very similar. And you're going to also, through the rein back, get an impulsive, springy forward step with your horse. So lots and lots of things happening, lots of benefits of this exercise. So this is not just for dressage riders. This is for everyone. This is something that everyone should incorporate. This is not something you should do very, very often or very regularly. But in the beginning, as I said, if you have a horse which is particularly heavy on your hands, this is a very good exercise to incorporate every now and then in order to get them off of your hands. Get them up, get their heads up, get them off of your hands, get them soft, and then send them forward in a springy forward way. So hopefully this has answered a lot of your questions. And, let me know in the comments if you guys have any other questions or if you've had any experience with the Reinback, any challenges or difficulties that you would like some answers to. I'm happy to answer your questions. And yeah, remember to check out the guided audio riding lessons. The link is going to be included either in the description or up above, depending on where you're watching this video from. So yeah, be sure to reach out to me and let me know, and go and listen to that free trial, that free audio lesson, so that way you can actually do the entire exercise. I'll walk you through it step by step, start to finish. So thank you so much, and I will see you guys next week.